Bills, Seahawks. We're going out west.
Okay, let me just say this. James Cook. I didn't say it. James Cook. Yeah. Whoa.
Breaks there.
Yeah.
James Cook went for 6'5" a pop. For 6'5" a pop.
Everyone was
dude.
talking Ray Davis.
Dude, listen, the run game, period. Hats off to Aaron Cromer. Hats off to that offensive line. Aaron Cromer, the coach of, and by the way, boys, I need a little juice. That's why you guys are the best producers in the land. Plug it in. Now my computer's going to get stronger in the second half of this show, like the Buffalo Bills run game. Aaron Cromer, my brother played for him, really loves him. His group always does a good job. I just want to shout out Spencer Brown, shout out, Osiris Torrance. Spencer Brown was out in space decking people last week. Didn't get a chance to shout him out for that, but this week, more of the same. Just opening up big holes up front. Dawkins, McGovern. There was a 3rd and 2 in the second half where they were just road grading and just watch the way they finished this game on the ground. Like to go up 31-3, watch those last 2 runs on that possession. I can't show you that because the NFL doesn't want me to have any film. But please go back and watch the way this group ran the ball in the second half of the game. I was so impressed with this group. And Coleman, who had a big day, blocked his ass off. Everybody on this offense is bought in. Everybody's bought in. Everybody is selfless. It's part of the reason they bring in Coleman because he fits the attitude of the offense. There's nobody on that offense that's like, it's about me. And that's not a shot at anybody who left. But like Coleman blocks his ass off. The Cook touchdown to go up 24-3. Watch him block. Watch him block. And he's really taking the step. Out there at receiver. He did drop a chunk play early, but Josh just keeps going back to him. One of the most fun sequences of the damn game was first down in the red zone. Josh throws him a fade. Woolen, who's another big body, makes a play. Okay? He's jawing at Keon Coleman. Second down, something else happens. Third down, they're like, all right, we'll go back again. On the other side of the field, Woolen's on him. He dunks on Woolen and pats him on the head like the way you would pat a guy who downed a punt, like a teammate on your team. And with Keon Coleman, I'm not really sure if he's dogging him or if he's just being like silly as fuck or what. But I just love seeing this guy play. He's like a big kid out there, but he really is starting to get it. And you're starting to see Josh kind of trust him a little bit more. And obviously with the guys they're bringing in, and I don't think it's been a product of that the last 2 weeks. I think it's mainly him just figuring things out. But like Cooper doesn't hurt. Where Cooper really helps was Shakir. Shakir is a nightmare inside, and you can't put any extra attention on him because you got to take something out of the outside of the field. You remember when they had Cole Beasley, and Beasley was like, their guy.
Mm-hmm.
Shakir is Beasley on steroids. Okay, so he's got this option inside. The big guy outside's coming along. You bring in Cooper, and the offensive line's blocking their ass off. Now, I talked about the defense. The defense played well, obviously. Okay, we'll get to that. I'll break down the defense and what they did well later in the week a little bit. But I thought those goal line stands were big, but it wasn't anything they necessarily did. It was just Seahawks being Keystone Cops. And to go on the road, though, like on a macro level, Seattle used to be a tough place to play. Like, it really did. I don't know if it's the same anymore, but I just know it used to be hell. It used to be hell.
You don't mention that, actually, Chris. I mean, dude, I played there like 5 or 6 times. I was always sick as a defensive player because you're out there and you're like, God, I wish we had this at home. Especially when they were rolling with the Legion of Boom and like all those great defenses they had. But I think Gino said in like a post-game presser, he's like, Bills Mafia really came out. Like, it felt like we're at an away game, which is not something you're accustomed to hearing.
Boy, you are not accustomed to seeing that. And then I also think leaving the field, watching Josh leave the field, like that is a cool place to play. Like, I know it's tough, but it's also like a damn cool city to like travel to and play. It's like being in like another country. It's so far up in the Pacific Northwest.
Favorite visits.
It's overcast. There was weed before there was weed elsewhere.
Yep.
Didn't you
People
say
playing catch with the fish?
Didn't you say when you played there was a guy who would sit in the same section and you would talk to him?
I talked to him every time.
Yeah.
So we went there every year and lost to them like clockwork. Week 17. They always scheduled us week 17. It would always be misting, 34 degrees, not cold enough to snow, but always cold enough to be uncomfortable and wet. And it used to be a thing where, you know, we'd play them tough, low-scoring game. Russ would hit a moon ball in the fourth quarter, or, you know, a pick six would happen, one big play. And it was usually like Golden Tate or some shit. And we'd end up like losing 12-5 or like 14-6. And I used to every game walk out of that tunnel, like into the tunnel, walk out and see this guy with a big sign. And he would always have some clever ass sign. And he'd be so like kind of like on your ass the whole game. And then on the way out, he'd be on your ass. And I'll never forget the last time I played there. And I was washed in St. Louis. At this point, I was playing hurt and shit. And I knew it was the end. But we found a way to beat him. And I can remember walking out of the stadium. This is time number 8. Okay. And I stopped in the corner of that end zone and shot the shit with that guy for like 5 minutes, you know, because I knew I was done. I wasn't going to be playing there anymore. And it was real cool. It was like the 12s, man, they really are. Although I hated them for years, I can't tell you how cool it was to play up in that stadium when it was rocking. Even though we went 1-7, it just was a wild place. And in the other end zone, the boxes are right down on the field. I think that stadium was ahead of its time. You know what I love about the stadium? It's state of the art, but they didn't build it inside, and everything was like down on the field. The acoustics are obviously great.
Every time,
I think they pipe in noise, like Bill said that about the RCA Dome. And shit.
Yeah. Well, I wonder because like it seems so tight. Every time you see like an end zone shot looking down the field, and you can see the stands on either side, and the you know half dome or whatever the stands going up, it seems so tight, so narrow on the side. I wonder if that has any.
No, I think that's what they claim, but they also have powerful speakers.
They claim the walls. Noise. The reason why the walls like that helps the sound.
And of course, some people from Seattle are smart enough to understand that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know? But I just love that stadium, and it is not the same. And I put myself in Josh's shoes, knowing how it was to walk out of that stadium at the end of that game. Bill's Mafia took that thing over. They're the last people in the stadium. I mean, it was emptied out. And he's walking out and they're chanting MVP. And I got chills thinking about it because that's what the NFL is all about. It's about going on the road. It's about the silence in that building. Whether it was like the Eagles going down to New Orleans and making those plays down there and the whole place going quiet in a big game, or it's like just gradually, we're going to kick your ass and watch people leave the stadium. And at the end of the game, it's just going to be us and our fans. Like, that is the best feeling in the NFL. It ain't winning at home. It really isn't. It's going on the road, and it's taking care of business. And for the Bills to go do that this way, that was really impressive. And Josh finally threw a pick to pacify all you haters and losers.
It was coming.
The haters and the losers.
I was disappointed in Seattle. My one thing, Seattle, I just feel like home field advantage is a real thing. And for them to play sloppy, like with ball handling in the rain, when you're a team that's kind of your advantage. Teams go out there and they're not used to playing with wet balls or handling. And then you're the team that is suffering from all the stuff that you would think that other teams
that's interesting.
would be suffering. And that really like killed them from the start of the game where they couldn't get anything going. And I just feel like that was disappointing.
Seahawks, man, they got to get it together, man. Get it together, bro. Like, just be the same team 2 weeks in a row. I'm sure Seahawks fans are like, yeah, you just met us? I'm like, yeah, but like...